funny part is that I thought tonight we played our best game of the three. We certainly competed a lot harder than we had in the first two games. We seem to be a little bit out of gas, and we're certainly out of luck right now. If we could have got a couple of bounces there to either keep the score 3-2 or make it 5-4 going into the third period, might have been a different story. You know, we're up against the best team in Canada, and they're proving it.
Yes, they certainly are. But the series isn't over yet. The Waxers return home on Friday night for possibly their last game at the Centennial Center this season. So make sure to get down to cheer on the boys. All the action gets underway at 8. The road to the Royal Bank Cup has gotten progressively harder to negotiate for the Markham Waxers, and it appears that the team might be heading towards a dead end. After sweeping the Thornhill Rattlers and taking care of St. Mike's in 6, Markham came back to oust the Wexford Raiders in 7 games to claim their first South Division title in more than 20 years. But in the Southeast Conference final, it looks as though the Blue and White may have met their match in the form of the Wellington Dukes. Not only have they lost the first 2 games of the series, but they've also been outscored by a count of 13-2. And head coach Russ Harrington knows his team needs a win tonight to try and gain some momentum.
We haven't played a team this year that executes as well as Wellington, and I think it's become a bit of a frustration for our guys, and instead of trying to battle through it, I think too many guys are throwing their hands up and saying, oh, well, you know, they're the best team in Canada.
Despite being outscored 13-2 in the first 2 games, the news hasn't been all bad for Coach Harrington.
I'm really satisfied with the way that Albert Ferrante and Mike Diamond have played. I think we have a handful of forwards, Nathaniel Brooks and Jason Duffy being among them, and probably Tony Rossi and Pat Peretta, the others, that have put forth the effort that I think is necessary for us to come back in this series. For the rest of the guys, I think that too many of them are in awe of our opposition and just aren't raising their level of game and competitiveness to where it needs to be.
We still haven't came with our A game yet, but it's a tough loss, and going back to their barn, it's a real tough barn to play in, so it's going to be tough. But if we win 1 game in their barn, there will be a whole new series.
Tuesday night's game in Wellington is a must-win for the Waxers if they want to get back in the series, and they need to find some answers quickly.
Well, definitely pick up our intensity level and stay defensively sound, take our man in our own zone, and create more chances offensively.
We're going to have to tighten up on our D end for sure, tighten up the forwards down there, keep low battles, and win our one-on-ones.
Other than hope that there's some kind of flu or that atypical pneumonia strike Wellington. Right now, I'm not sure there's a way to solve Wellington. I think that we have to play harder and tougher and keep the game close and hope we get a bounce near the end. Obviously, we have to stay out of the box and do some things better, but hopefully from the coaching standpoint, we're going to put in some systems that'll help our guys achieve at a better level than we have so far in 2 games.
Well, there has been rain the last couple of days, so I guess it's possible some of the Dukes have come down with atypical pneumonia, but it's highly unlikely. The Waxers will need to pull out all the stops at the Duke Dome. The puck drops at 7:30 p.m. To say that the Markham Waxers were in trouble heading into Game 3 of the Southeast Conference Final against the Wellington Dukes would be a bit of an understatement. The Dukes are considered by many to be the top Junior A team in the country, and after 2 games, it was easy to see why. After winning the opener 5-1, Wellington traveled to Canada's high-tech capital and trounced the Waxers 8-1. That set the scene for Game 3 back at the Duke Dome, a must-win situation for Markham. Standing room only in Wellington, forcing our camera to the end of the Markham bench. The Dukes open the scoring on the power play. Mark Campbell finds Jordan Freeland in front. He beats Scott Gray, and just like that, it's 1-0. Aaron Buckstein would tie it up for Markham, but Wellington regains the lead. Ryan Woodward digs the puck out of the corner and dishes off to Warren Cooper. He wastes no time getting the shot off, 2-1 after 20. More from the home team in the second. C.J. Thompson beats Anthony Guadagnolo, now in goal for Markham, and it was 3-1. Once again, the Waxers keep things close. While lying on the ice in front of the net, Buckstein manages to somehow deflect the point shot from Jamie Wright. That's his second of the game, and it was 3-2. From that point on, it was all Wellington. Mike Konechny scores, and it was 5-2 after a pair. On to the third period, and everything bouncing Wellington's way. Woodward to Cooper for his second of the game, 6-2 Dukes. And when the score gets out of hand, tempers tend to boil over. Ryan Olitas with the hit after the whistle on Tyler Lyon, and the complimentary face wash. 7-2 for the Dukes when this happens. Campbell making it look, oh, so easy. That makes it 8-2, and that would prove to be your final score, as Wellington scores 5 unanswered goals in the last 2 periods to pull away, but Waxers head coach Russ Harrington thought the game was closer than the score would indicate.
The funny part is that I thought tonight we played our best game of the 3. We certainly competed a lot harder than we had in the first 2 games. We seem to be a little bit out of gas, and we're certainly out of luck right now. If we could have got a couple of bounces there to either keep the score 3-2 or make it 5-4 going into the third period, might have been a different story. You know, we're up against the best team in Canada, and they're proving it.
Yes, they certainly are, but the